All right, folks, we'll explain what you were watching momentarily. Welcome back. Joining us now is a man who's covered Mideast conflicts on the ground since 2006, contributed to the New York Times, the Sunday Times of London, and author of a book that is must-reading, Inside ISIS, The Brutal Rise of a Terrorist Army. Benjamin Hall joins us. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you for having me on.
What were we watching there?
That was footage that I filmed myself about 2.5 years ago in the northern city, Syrian city of Aleppo. And what you see there is just how basic the weapons that they had were. This was in the early nascent period of the revolution when they were fighting Assad. And in many ways, they were just fighting for good causes. They were trying to overthrow their dictator. It points to the underlying issues of the rise of ISIS, that so little support was given to them that they had to, react and use those sort of weapons.
Like a big slingshot type thing.
And that's all they had. And they were crying out at that point, for support, and they didn't get it.
How you've been on the ground in there since '06? So was this your first? What year was this? This was
about 2 years.
Two and a half years ago. How did we miss ISIS? How did Obama stand there before the world and call them a JV team, comparing them to, like the Bulls without Michael Jordan or whatever?
Yeah, as you point out, I started going in '06, and I went at the time to cover the optimism. The westernization of Iraq, for example. There was really positive movements after the surge, and we were heading down a decent path. And the way I see it, the truth is that Obama really dropped the ball. He didn't see through the long-term security agreements that had been put in place, and Iran jumped in to fill the void. So effectively, we had Iran creating this sectarian violence where Sunnis were fighting Shia who were growing, and that led to the hatred among them. And ISIS grew out of that hatred. And I still believe that had Obama been there, had he seen through those commitments that he offered, we may not be where we are today.
There are people, when you put 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 together, everything that's happened to the Middle East under Obama, including his support for the Muslim Brotherhood in places like Egypt, what he's done in Libya, many feel overthrowing Gaddafi for no reason, and now Al-Qaeda and ISIS runs that place. The guy can't be that stupid. There might be a method to his madness that only you could have to be inside his head to figure out.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see Sisi start talking openly about the lack of help he's getting.
Yeah.
And I see the same on the ground. Jordan, which is playing an active role in bombing ISIS, is asking for more bombs because they're running out of bombs to do their job. They're saying, we'll buy those bombs, and the US seems reluctant to give them.
Well, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But talk about the latest is we see kids, young boys shooting prisoners in the back of the head. Supposed alleged alleged spy. That was the latest video. A couple of weeks ago was another prisoner that a kid shot in the back of the head. Why do they put this out in videos? What's the purpose of showing the world that they do this with children?
Yeah, every time you think they've hit rock bottom, they just manage to pull something else out, which makes them even worse. But they've been doing that for some time now, and I've spoken to defectors, people who have left ISIS, who have told me about the training and the brainwashing of children. From as young as 10, they take them, often away from their parents. They send them through ideological training. They send them through weapons training, and often the final part of their training is to cut off somebody's head, a prisoner's head. Taking the children and using them is the most dangerous thing that we're facing, because this is not just a battle, a group that we're trying to defeat on the battleground. There's a whole new generation that the longer they're in power, they will be able to manipulate.
Where do you believe they will stop if the president and this administration keeps acting the way they're acting, testifying that, we're stopping them, we're doing this, we're doing that, but in effect, according to other countries, doing nothing? Where will this end up and when?
I've got to say that the US airstrikes served some role in the sense that they stopped the spread of ISIS. ISIS was walking right across the plains of Nineveh in Iraq, and their expansion has stopped to some degree. But they're getting more dangerous. They are shoring up the cities they own. If you go to their capitals of Raqqa or Deir ez-Zor, you see the way that they're digging in, building in, and we're seeing them spread to Libya. Now, I think Libya, talking about their expansion that way, is just as dangerous. We have a country that's right across the Mediterranean.
Absolutely.
From Europe, and we have thousands of migrants taking those boats across, every week. How hard is it to put some of those?
They say Rome, they could already be in Rome.
And that's what they're looking for. So really dangerous.
It all happens as we sit. Folks, everything about ISIS, we don't have time to get to it all. Every aspect, why they were able to grow, what could be done, what they do, what their inner workings, their beliefs, and their beliefs are Islamic extremism, right?
Absolutely.
Based on what they believe the Quran tells them to do.
Word for word.
Word for word. All right. It's all in the book, folks. Inside ISIS by Benjamin Hall. Get your hands on it. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. All right, folks, when we come back, the president of Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton, we're going to talk emails. Don't go away.